Hello, welcome back. I'm Statman Dave, and today we're going to take in a look at 3 players Manchester United need to sign if they want to become Premier League champions. Remember to subscribe if you are new, turn the notification bell, and of course, smash that like button. Anyway, let's get this party started. A solid season in a difficult year saw Manchester United climb up to second place in the table, finishing 12 points behind first place, the closest they've been to the winners since their last title. But Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wants to take his team that one place higher, so today we're going to be looking at 3 major signings that Manchester United could make to turn them into genuine title contenders. In Solskjaer's favourite system, there's 3 main areas of improvement: a dominant centre-back who's comfortable on the ball, a proper defensive midfielder who can keep things tidy in possession and break up play, and a natural right winger that can ease the creative burden on the number 10. Sven Botman would be my number 1 choice at centre-half. The Dutchman signed for Lille last summer and was instrumental as they won their first Ligue title in 10 years. Standing at nearly 6'5", Sven Botman is a physically imposing defender. His defensive ability is obvious from the moment you watch him. At just 21, he has the makings of a world-class centre-half. Statistically, he wins around 75% of every duel he competes with, which is something similar to Virgil van Dijk's statistical profile between 2018 and 2020. Botman also completes on average around 90% of his passes, which is incredibly impressive, especially when you consider he nearly plays 15 long passes per 90 minutes. Despite only turning 21 in January, Botman has the defensive positioning of a very mature player. When he's defending, he likes to get low to the ground so he can quickly change direction quicker to match the attacker. This allows him to assert himself on the situation, often showing the forward where Botman wants him to go before stepping in and making a challenge. He's an extremely composed player in all aspects of his play. When he's defending the box, he doesn't panic and takes control of situations, as we have mentioned. But if the ball is worked wide to the byline, his positioning really shines through. He's very disciplined and often sits on the edge of the 6-yard box in a position where if the winger gets across into the box, he can cut the ball out across the face and the cut back to the penalty spot. But he's also composed in counter-attacking situations. When they'll attack, they usually throw their full-backs forward, which leaves the centre-backs to deal with the wide areas, meaning that Botman is responsible for the left-hand side. He's always ready to react to events, either engaging in the ball or dropping off to cover. But when he acts, he does so with confidence and composure. An example of this came in the 3-2 win over Lyon in the 76th minute. Lyon looked to launch the counter-attack through Cadeware. He overruns it slightly, Botman steps in, backheeling it into central midfield. If Botman gets this wrong, the winger has acres of space to attack, but he doesn't get it wrong, shaping to pass to the left back, which draws the winger's attention before playing the pass inside and starting a Lille attack. Another example of his composure came on the 51st minute. Babe plays the ball down the line and Botman cuts it out, but was pressured by Slimani. Instead of clearing it down the line, he goads Slimani and flicks it inside to Font on his weaker foot. As these examples suggest, Botman is technically superb. Coming from the Ajax Academy, you know he's going to have a certain level of tactical and technical ability, and Botman doesn't disappoint. He's capable of playing every pass you want from a modern centre-half, from short, crisp passes to keep the ball, to zipped, line-breaking passes into the midfielders, and even long diagonals, both to a man as well as into space. What emphasises his quality is his accuracy and weight of pass, which are usually perfect. Among centre-backs across Europe's top 5 leagues this season, he ranks 3rd for progressive passes and 2nd in Ligue for passes into the final third. He could slot into Manchester United's setup seamlessly. Being a left footer, this would allow Maguire to play on the right-hand side, the natural side for a right footer. This blend of ball-playing talent along with dominance in 1v1 situations would allow Manchester United to play out from the back with greater ease, something they've been struggling with. Next up, defensive midfield, and for me, there's one outstanding candidate, Declan Rice. The West Ham man is an ideal signing to improve Manchester United's midfield overnight. He's a Premier League proven defensive midfielder who's shown an ability to consistently improve year on year, which suggests at just 22, he could be one of the best defensive midfielders in the world at some point. He's already a very complete defensive midfielder, and he's shown different parts of his game against Manchester United this season. In the 3-1 defeat, Rice operated ahead of a back three. The extra defender allowed him to be a lot more destructive than usual, stepping out and engaging in tackles. He put in 2 excellent challenges, but very different challenges on Pogba and Rashford. Pogba's came just before half-time. As the Frenchman recovered the ball, he carried and dribbled at Rice, changing directions to make the midfielder spin. But Rice reacted, accelerated and cleanly won the ball with a slide tackle, almost passing it to Balbuena and killing United's counter-attack. Rashford comes on the 73rd minute as he picks up the ball in his own half. He carries, goes past Souček, running over halfway. At this point, effectively United have a 3v3 with Rashford bursting away. He drives inside, but Rice manages to catch up to the winger and expertly tackles him, single-handedly stopping a second counter from Manchester United. Whilst in the 1-0 defeat at Old Trafford, Rice operated in front of the defence as a half-back. First in front of a back three, and in the second half in front of a back four. In this kind of role, Rice is able to use his positioning to great effect, often blocking out passes to the forwards, while still closing down the ball. We saw a great example of this in the 48th minute. Threading possession for United, who carries and launches a counter. Rice immediately shifts over and blocks the pass to Rashford, who's United's most dangerous counter-attacker, understanding where the space is, and that being where Rashford would look to run. Rice curves his run and blocks the pass to Rashford, whilst closing down Fred before dispossessing the Brazilian. He then charges down a loose ball and wins a slide tackle to completely stop the counter-attack. Declan Rice is not that expansive with his passing range, but that's not to say he can't pass. He's got a good range of passing that includes switches of play. But what he does really well is keeping the ball moving with short and simple passes before progressing it to a more advanced player. This tidy role in possession, but shielding and destructive out of possession, would be perfect for Manchester United. He could form a classic South American double pivot with Scott McTominay, with Rice as the halfback and McTominay as the secundo volante. This pivot would allow for a lot of aggression and defensive coverage, and allow the forwards and fullbacks to get forward, with the secundo volante making surges into the box, knowing that the halfback will protect the centre-backs. This is similar to Rice and Thomas Souček's relationship at West Ham, who finished the season as the top scoring central midfielder in the Premier League. The protection provided by Rice allowed Souček to make these late surges into the box and score goals, with all 10 of Souček's goals coming when Rice was on the pitch. Alternatively, Rice would enable a switch to a single pivot, which, as you've heard me say many times on the channel, will allow for 2-3-8, which would get the best out of Donny van de Beek alongside Paul Pogba or Bruno Fernandes. Regardless of system, Rice would bring great balance to Manchester United's midfield and could help link the defence to the attack through his passing range, whilst anchoring United's attacking structure. And finally, on the right wing, you know who I'm going to say? Jadon Sancho. The Borussia Dortmund man is undoubtedly a world-class attacker, and United need reinforcements there, especially on the right-hand side. Sancho has played excellently from that position, as well as playing all across the line, with his attacking output not really diminishing. What we could see with the addition of Sancho alongside Marcus Rashford and Mason Greenwood is a completely fluid front three, with all three forwards interchanging positions throughout the game. We saw this in the DFB Pokal final against RB Leipzig, where Sancho started on the left-hand side but popped up all over the pitch, be it on the right-hand side, up front or even deeper midfield. This fluidity and intelligence of when to interchange positions would make United so much harder to deal with, either pulling their players out of position or simply trying their luck against someone new. Sancho scored twice in this game, the first coming from the left-hand side. After robbing Cancel, Royce is in possession. He releases Haaland, who gives it to De Hood. The German shifts it to Sancho, who opens himself up and smashes it into the far corner with precision and power. Whilst the second comes from the right-hand side, Haaland in possession, the striker plays it wide to De Hood, who slips in Royce. The German carries into the box and simply plays it across for Sancho to slot home. But what I love about this goal is the move that Sancho pulls to completely bamboozle the defender. You think it's a simple tap-in, but the first touch, the second touch is absolutely fantastic, which opens up a wide net for Sancho to slot home. What's more impressive is how he forms relationships all round the pitch, especially with centre forwards. In his first 2 seasons, it was Paco Alcácer who scored 6 goals after being teed up by Sancho in that period, whilst this season, it's Erling Braut Haaland who scored 6 goals in the campaign alone. His assist against Sevilla highlighted his technical ability and eye for his goal scorer. Akanji in possession, he plays it forward to Haaland, who turns and drives at the Sevilla defence. plays a cheeky little 1-2 with Sancho, who dinks the ball over for Haaland to finish. This assist shows the telepathic link-up between the duo, as when Haaland gives it to Sancho, the winger doesn't even look. He simply plays it to where he knows that Haaland's going to be, which catches everyone out and leads to the goal. A forward like Sancho would really complete United's attack. Not only is he completely comfortable on the right-hand side, but he's an elite-level creator, which would ease the pressure on Bruno Fernandes to create chances. If there's a doubt of how world-class he is, bad players aren't directly involved in 79 goals across 3 seasons at 21 years old. And it's not like that it's just a final ball. Sancho ranks in the very top percentile for most creative metrics across Europe's top 5 leagues. He's also joining from the Bundesliga, which is played at a similar intensity to the Premier League. It's 2 players that joined in the summer that have won pretty big things recently. But anyway, there's Bundesliga tax. The trio of Sven Botman, Declan Rice and Jadon Sancho wouldn't be cheap, but it turned Manchester United into genuine title contenders. What's more is they're all reportedly open to being sold by their clubs. Lille are in financial difficulties and need to sell to avoid bankruptcy. West Ham are aware that they can't keep Rice forever, and on loan Jesse Lingard could feature in the deal for the midfielder. While Sancho reportedly agreed personal terms with Manchester United last season, Dortmund are happy to sell for around £80 million, which will be a bargain for a player of Sancho's quality. If United sign the trio, I'll be backing them to win the 2021-22 Premier League. But anyway guys, what do you think? Who should United sign to become Premier League champions? If you want them to sign Botman, Rice and Jadon Sancho, make sure you smash that like button. Thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, why not check out some more content on the Statman Dave YouTube channel.